This was new to me completely, and I was learning as much as I could. Hello, and thank you for clicking on this video. If you're new here, my name is Hannah, and I make videos on faithful and simple living. Today's video is going to be the things that I used during my pregnancy. I wanted to have a natural pregnancy and labor from the beginning, so that's what I worked for. I read a bunch of books and things online, watched a bunch of videos, and I really just supported my body with the foods I ate and then helping it with supplements and teas and such. So I'm going to show you everything I used during my pregnancy. So just a little bit about me and my pregnancy journey before I get started and sharing all this stuff with you. Right now I am almost 9 months postpartum, 8.5 months, and throughout my pregnancy I really wanted it to be natural. I just like the idea of having a natural birth, especially having a home birth, which is really what I was aiming for through the entire pregnancy journey. I did a lot of studying, a lot of research on all kinds of things. We went with natural midwives who also did the natural approach to birth. And I started seeing the midwives, I believe, around 13 weeks pregnant. And that was our first consultation with them. But overall, besides a few things, everything that I decided to take and study and do was mostly of my own choice. But I just really took and did what I thought my body needed and what would help me grow a baby. This also was my very first pregnancy, so I was new to all this. I was new to the idea of having a baby. I had not been around too many people before who were pregnant or wanting a natural birth, so this was new to me completely, and I was learning as much as I could. But now, with all that being said, I'm going to show you what I used and took and did to have a natural pregnancy. So the first thing I'm going to share is the book that I read and used through the entire pregnancy. It's the Mama Natural Week by Week Guide to Pregnancy and Childbirth. This is pretty much what I lived by at that time. I didn't use everything that the book said. I really listened to my body through a lot of the pregnancy, but this is where I learned a lot about the birth in general, plus the things that my body needed for a natural birth. So if you're wanting to do a natural birth, whether it's home birth or a natural hospital birth, anything, I would really suggest that you get this book. Besides that book, I also read a bunch of things on the Mama Natural website, which really helped me because it answers a bunch of different specific questions and it just helps you through week by week of your pregnancy. Along with that, I read a bunch of other things online. I listened to a lot of podcasts. I'll have some link below. All of these products and everything that I talk about today will be linked below if you can check out if you are pregnant and wanting to do a natural birth and pregnancy yourself. So besides that, I listened to a bunch of podcasts. I watched a lot of home birth videos because that's what I wanted to do, so I would prepare myself to know what was actually going to happen. Besides that, that's how I mentally prepared. About halfway through my pregnancy, I started using essential oils as well to help me mentally and physically with different symptoms, I guess, for pregnancy. Right now, since I'm talking about the mental state a little more, I will talk about this one essential oil. I used the Surrender essential oil. This one really helped me on anxious nights or just the days where I really just needed some help with my mental state, because preparing for birth is a major thing, especially if you've never done it before, never been around it. So I really wanted to calm myself. So I would use this when I prayed or when I journaled about the things I was feeling leading up to birth. I used this as a perfume and I diffused it all the time during those months, and it really did help me a lot. I also wanted to diffuse this oil during the labor process as I was going through all that. So using it during the months I was pregnant as a way to calm down, it would have really helped me during the labor process as I was going through that. But unfortunately, that did not happen. If you haven't listened to our birth story, I will have that also linked below if you want to hear how that event went. Okay, as we're talking about essential oils, I'm just going to mention these three. These are pretty much the three most basic essential oils you can get, but they really do help you a lot during pregnancy. I used lavender a lot during my pregnancy. I used it just for calming. I diffused it at night. I put it into lotions and body butters to put on my belly when it was very itchy because it was stretching so far. I used lemon essential oil for nausea. I really diffused it a lot to help me when I was nauseous during those days. And then peppermint was a lifesaver for me during pregnancy. Peppermint oil you can use for head tension, headaches, which I didn't want to take like over-the-counter drugs or ibuprofen for my headaches during that time, because I wanted to do all natural stuff and not fill my body with medicines. So I use peppermint oil for my headaches. I also used it for heartburn. It helps so much if you just take a drop of it and you put it on the roof of your mouth. That really saved me a lot on most nights because I had quite a few days where heartburn was pretty bad, so that really helped me. So those were the 4 essential oils that I really used a lot during pregnancy. I mentioned that I put lavender into like my belly butter that I used. I had a friend give me the Burt's Bee belly butter. It has shea butter and vitamin E in it. And this really helped me in the last few months because my belly was really stretching and really causing me discomfort and was itching all the time. So this really helped me, and if I was having a really bad night, I would also add shea butter into this with the lavender essential oil. This one is kind of random, but I was having a lot of leg cramps in the mornings, especially during the last trimester. So I was adding magnesium into my daily routine a lot. I will share the magnesium powder that I used, but I also started using this deodorant at night that has magnesium in it. It is the infused magnesium deodorant. This one is the Rest and Restore Lavender Scent. I use this at night because it really doesn't work that well as a deodorant for me during the day. So I would put it on when I went to bed because I'm not doing a bunch and sweating all the time. So I just used it to get the extra magnesium into my body. Along with that, I also took the Natural Calm magnesium powder. I would put this into a drink every single day. Or I started doing it every few days. I used to do it every other day unless I really needed it. I kept waking up with the leg cramps and just other symptoms that showed me that I needed magnesium. This is also great to take postpartum after you have the baby. That's actually why I had it in my house, but it did come in handy during my pregnancy months as well. For prenatal vitamins, I was taking some for the first few weeks after I found out I was pregnant, but I was really bad with taking pills, like swallowing whole pills at that time, especially when I was nauseous during the day. So I started using the Smarty Pants Organics prenatal gummies. Gummies are so much easier to take when you are feeling nauseous all the time. So this is the one I took. I took it pretty well during the first trimester, like halfway through the second trimester, and then I kind of quit taking them and just concentrated more on my foods that I was eating. But this is the prenatal vitamin that I took for the majority of my pregnancy. So through the blood test that my midwives took, they found out that I was very low in vitamin D and iron at one point. So I started taking the Peak Performance Advanced Vitamin D and K vitamins. They wanted me to take a vitamin D and vitamin K together because vitamin K helps vitamin D absorb better into your body. So this is the one I was taking at that time. But since then, I've found a lot better vitamin D that I take every single day. It's from Young Living. It's a super vitamin D, and this one you do not have to swallow, which really would have helped me during that time when I was having trouble swallowing pills every day. And when I found out I was low in iron, I got Mary Ruth's Vegan Liquid Iron Prenatal and Postnatal supplement. This is a liquid that you take, I believe, like a spoonful every day. Yeah, 1 tablespoon every day, and that's what I did to get my iron levels back up. So also what helped me during the first month of pregnancy when I would get nauseous, I didn't get nauseous too much, like I didn't have a lot of morning sickness, but when I did, I would use the Mega Food Baby and Me Morning Sickness Nausea Relief ginger drops. These are like soft, chewable, not gummies, but like, I guess like a taffy form. And this is the honey lemon ginger flavor, and that really helped me on the days I was nauseous. I would just eat a bunch of those, and it helped me not get sick. So about a month, I believe, before my due date, I started using the Gentle Birth Tincture. I would put it in a drink every single day. It honestly tastes like dirt, so that's why I put it in something else to drink. But that helped me prepare my body for birth and have a more natural and easy birth and delivery of your baby, as well as helps you recover afterwards postpartum. Another thing I did right before I went into labor, about a few weeks or about a month before my due date, I started doing the evening primrose oil at night. So the last supplement thing that I took, this really isn't a supplement, it is a drink, and it's almost empty as you can see. But I took Tincture Red. This is from Young Living. It is a drink that is packed full of antioxidants. It helps your immune system, it gives you energy, which I really needed during pregnancy. When you're pregnant, it helps you support a healthy placenta as well as boost your milk supply if you are breastfeeding after you have the baby. So this one I drank every single day. You drink 1 or 2 ounces a day. So I would mix this with orange juice and like sparkling water, and then I would put my magnesium and my Gentle Birth tincture and anything else that I was mixing in at that time into this drink, and it really did help me so much after I started taking or drinking the Tincture Red every single day. I really did see an improvement in my energy levels, in my overall health while I was pregnant. It did help me all around, and I still drink it to this day. So as I said before, I didn't take too many supplements, and I wasn't concentrating on the vitamins that I was taking as much as the food I was getting. So I really paid attention to what I was low in, but I would listen to my body and see what it needed, and then I would incorporate that kind of food into my diet. I remember I ate a lot of spinach because I was low in iron. I started eating a bunch of eggs when I was low in vitamin D. I really just listened to my body, what it was craving, and really worked from there and tried to eat healthy as much as I could. Yes, I did eat the ice cream and the french fries and all that, but I did try to pay attention to the foods I was eating for me and for baby. Besides paying attention to the foods I would eat, I drank a lot of teas. If you have looked into the natural side of pregnancy and birth at all, you've probably heard of red raspberry leaf tea, and that is what I drank a lot of. I drank red raspberry leaf tea every single day starting in my second trimester because I heard somewhere that the first trimester you don't want to drink it because it could cause premature labor or a miscarriage, but after researching that a little bit more, I do wish I took it in the first trimester as well. But I drank 1 tea bag of this for the second trimester, and I think when I entered the third trimester I upped it to 2 tea bags a day. I would drink 2 cups a day, or I would put like 2 tea bags in the same cup and just have a really strong brew. And then I believe like the last month I upped it even more to like 3 tea bags or 4 a day. You can read a bunch about the benefits of using red raspberry leaf tea all online. It's all over the place. But besides the red raspberry leaf tea, I drank nettle tea. This is really good for preparing your body for labor as well. I started drinking this, I believe, either when I started the third trimester or around 30 weeks. For the nettle tea, I would just brew a big half-gallon pitcher of it every week, and I would drink that throughout the week. I would drink a cup every single day. And I think I just used like 2 tea bags of the nettle tea and just let it steep in the water for a few hours. And then I started incorporating alfalfa tea, I believe at 32 or 34 weeks. Alfalfa tea is really good to help you with blood clots, which is really good when you're postpartum after you have the baby. I did not have a lot of trouble with bleeding afterward. I believe it's very high in vitamin K, which is why you should drink alfalfa tea when you're pregnant. So I would just brew it the same way I did the nettle tea, but I would put them together in the pitcher at this point. I would just do 2 tea bags of alfalfa tea and 2 tea bags of the nettle. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is dates. I tried a bunch of different types of dates, but this brand is what I liked the most. I would eat 6 to like 8 a day, I believe is what it was. I found a bunch of different ways to eat these. I would either just eat them whole, I would put them in oatmeal, I made smoothies out of them, I would eat them with chocolate and peanut butter. I froze some and ate them that way with the chocolate and peanut butter. I would dip them in chocolate and just eat them that way. There's so many different ways you can eat dates. I believe I made like date bars, but the later on I got in my pregnancy, I realized I did not want to be standing in the kitchen and making like date bars and cooking things with the dates because I was just way too tired for that at that point. If I remember right, the dates helps you really soften your cervix and prepare your body for labor. Especially during the last weeks, I really made sure I ate the dates and drank all the teas, more so than I had before. And I started eating the dates at 36 weeks, I believe, and really just concentrated on making sure I got those every single day. Now, with all that to say, the last 2 or 3 days before I actually went into labor, I wasn't feeling the greatest, and I didn't feel like drinking so many cups of teas and eating sweet dates or taking supplements at that time because I was just not feeling good. So I think it was the last 2 days I pretty much stopped everything. I think I ate like 1 date a day and drank the red raspberry leaf tea, but everything else I really just stopped doing. I think I drank Tincture as well. I was just not feeling up to taking all that. It was just making me sick at the time. And then 2 or 3 days later, Kaden was born. So that is everything that I used on a regular basis. I know there was other things that I tried and I used throughout the pregnancy as well. Now, besides the supplements and the teas and the drinks and the books that I read, I also stretched a lot especially during the second trimester. I really wanted to prepare my body physically that way. I did a lot of stretches and exercises to help my body prepare. But later in the 3rd trimester it got really hard, especially because my hip went out. One of my kidneys dropped, which caused my hip to really fall out, and I couldn't walk for about 2 weeks, I believe it was. So it was impossible for me to do any stretches or exercise in that way. And especially when I was getting leg cramps, it was harder for me to move my muscles around and stretch because they would cramp up easier. That lasted for a few weeks as well. But I actually forgot to show y'all that, but I used a magnesium oil to soak my feet, and I used another one that you can like rub on your body, and I used that on my feet every night to also help me with the leg cramps, but I will have that also linked below. Besides that, that is pretty much how I prepared mentally, physically, and eternally for birth. I believe it really did help me in the end because we did have a very stressful birth process, but my body really took over, and I believe it helped a lot, especially with the healing. I tore pretty bad because we didn't have the midwives there. I didn't know what I was doing overall, and it was very stressful because I couldn't have it in my own home. It was very mixed up. We had other people there that I wasn't expecting, and it really just, I guess, threw me for a loop mentally as well as physically, but it's a process that you cannot stop when it does start. So overall, I think it really did help, especially with the recovery of it, which I used a few different things in tinctures when I was postpartum, but I did not include that in this video. I can make another one if you would like to see what I use postpartum and for a new baby, but this is everything I used for my pregnancy and to make sure I had a natural and healthy labor. If you have any questions or want to know any more about this, you can definitely comment below or hop over to my Instagram and send me a DM. I would be glad to talk about this with you. Again, I will have everything I talked about linked below in the description if you want to check it out or get some for yourself, especially if you are wanting to have a natural pregnancy and birth. Also, if you like this type of video and this topic about natural pregnancies and birth, like this video, and I will definitely make some more in the future because I do have a few ideas, but I don't know if that's what all of y'all would like to see. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you all so very much, and I will see you next time.